Are you gearing up for a busy day tomorrow? Let's break things down so that you are set up for an organized day rather than an overwhelming one.
Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renae Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast.
One of the best things that we can do for ourselves, especially if we're going into a busy day ahead for the next day, is to plan the night before. Because if we can plan the night before, we are going to get a better night's sleep because we're not going to have to deal with all of the things floating around in our heads, wondering, how am I going to get this done? What is my to do list? And just constantly concerned about all of the things going on, feeling chaotic. If you can go to bed knowing that everything is organized, everything is planned, you know exactly what your tasks are, you know what you need to do, you're going to rest better that night and you're going to be able to get up and your day is going to flow much smoother than it would if you hadn't planned ahead. So, the first thing that you want to do if you are going into a busy day the next day is to take just a few minutes to sit down and think out your day. So, whether you have a paper planner or you have a Google Calendar or you just have a scratch piece of paper, it doesn't matter. Just sit down for just a few minutes. And this can be whenever it works for you. It can be in the morning, the day before, it can be the night before as you're getting ready for bed, it can be after dinner and you're sitting down and you just take a few minutes to just jot this down. You can decide what works best for you. And some people will do this the morning of. And if they're going into a busy day, they get up in the morning and then they take time to do this over coffee or something like that. But I have found that it's actually more beneficial to do it the day before because then you go to bed more rested and you end up waking up with this knowledge of knowing exactly what needs to be done and you enter your day with a much more relaxed feeling than getting up and having to figure everything out because sometimes mornings don't go as we want them to either. So if you were hoping to get up in the morning and plan out your day, but then all of a sudden, somebody else in your house gets up or somebody gets sick or you end up oversleeping or whatever the case may be, your morning might not flow as easily as you were hoping for it to go. And so then you end up waking up and you feel rushed. And then you don't have time to actually sit down and plan. And you go into your day feeling really frazzled and even more overwhelmed than you needed to be. So I would suggest doing this actually the day before because then you can rest better at night. So, number one, I want you to think about your morning routine. What time are you wanting to get up and what are you wanting to get done? Because if it's going to be a short morning routine, that's totally fine. Just know how much time you want to have. If you want a little bit longer one, what time do you need to get up to be able to accommodate that morning routine? So, have a good plan on what your morning routine is going to look like because when you have a plan on what it's going to look like and you know what time you need to get up, then you also know what time you need to go to bed tonight to be able to get a good night's rest because that will affect it. If you're not getting up until 8 a.m., I mean, stay up till midnight if you really want to, because you're still going to get a solid 8 hours of sleep. But if you have to get up at 6 a.m., you're going to want to make sure you're in bed by 10 a.m. to get 8 hours of sleep if you fall asleep right away. If you get into bed and you need like an hour to fall asleep, then you're probably going to want to get into bed around 9 p.m. I might have said 10 a.m. I don't know what I said, but you're going to want to get into bed at 9 p.m. in order to fall asleep by 10 p.m. so that you can get up at 6 a.m. and still have a good night's rest. So, what time you get up in the morning is going to determine what time you go to bed tonight. And we need to know what your morning routine looks like, what time you're going to be getting up in order to determine that. The second thing is you want to organize the flow of your day. So you want to look at your day ahead, especially if it's going to be busy, but even if it's not going to be busy, we want to look at our day and we want to understand what needs to be done and what needs to be done in order. So this is where we're actually creating our day stack if we haven't already created it, and we just need to know the order of things that need to happen. So if you have your morning routine in the beginning and then you want to take a walk, are you taking your walk before your morning routine or after or during? Are you making breakfast before your walk or after your walk? Are you going to work? At what time? What block? What all needs to be done before your work block? Anything that is going on in the day, you want to stack it and you want to understand what the order is, because when you go into your day, you can look at the first thing and you can go at that thing. And then when that's done, you go to the next thing on the list and you go to the next thing on the list and you just work your way through your day stack, understanding what comes first, what comes second, what comes third, and so on throughout your day so that you have this plan that you can follow without feeling really frazzled and going back and forth through different things. You know exactly what needs to be happening and you just execute. The third thing I want you to think about are your priorities. If it is a really busy day tomorrow, then what are your priorities? Is it just sticking to the schedule and not worrying about other tasks because this is going to monopolize all of your time? Or are you plugging in any priority tasks? Do you need to prioritize any movement because you're going to be sitting a lot during the day and you want to take a walk at lunch so that you get some movement in and you get re energized and you end up having a more productive afternoon rather than a really tired and groggy afternoon because you've just been sitting all day? What is it that needs to be prioritized throughout your day? And if they're not already plugged in, this is a good time to do that. So think about your routines, your tasks. Are you blocking in any time to rest or rejuvenate or just have silence for even 5 minutes? Like, when are you going to take care of yourself throughout the day that's going to give you a better mood throughout the day? So this is a good time to really look at the priorities for the day tomorrow. And if you are really busy and you need to just stick to your schedule and you really only have time to do that and not much else, then you can acknowledge that it's going to be one of those days where you're okay not doing additional tasks because your focus is dedicated to other things that are going on. And you can go into your day not feeling guilty about all the things that you're not getting done because you already have a plan of when to do those later. This is a day where other things need your attention, and that's going to be okay because it's planned for and you don't have to feel guilty about the things that you're not getting to. That's a really hard thing for me is when I am when I'm dealing with a lot of other things, and it's been really, really busy lately. But when I'm dealing with a lot of other things, I tend to have this guilt for the things that I'm not getting to. But then I have to remember that sometimes we are in a season of life, even if that season is literally one day, maybe it's 1 week, maybe it's a full month, maybe it's a full quarter of the year. But when we are looking at a season of life, and it's really busy, sometimes our attention needs to be adjusted. And rather than feeling the guilt over that, we just need to create the plan of what our priorities are. And when we have that plan in place, we can focus on our priorities and kind of let the rest go. And it is a huge weight off your shoulders when you can do that and be very forgiving for yourself, because you can move forward through your day without feeling that guilt. The fourth thing that you wanna look at, especially if it's gonna be a busy day, is what is your plan for your meals? If you have not already created your meal plan for the week, then this is a good time to decide what you're gonna be doing, so then you don't have to worry about it tomorrow. So if you have a plan for breakfast, what are you going to do for breakfast? What are you going to do for lunch? Do you have enough leftovers, or do you need to make something fresh? Are you going to put something in the crock pot for dinner tomorrow night so that you don't have to worry about it when you get home? Is there anything you need to pull out of the freezer tonight so that it's thawed for dinner tomorrow night? All of those things you want to think through. Or is there anything that you can do and prep tonight that will make tomorrow flow smoother? Are there any vegetables that need to be prepped? Are there any dishes that can be prepared and then just ready to bake tomorrow? All of those things you kind of want to think through, like what is going to make my busy day flow smoother and release that stress that can be built up during a busy day. So you want to think that through. And then when you have a plan, even if you can't prep everything tonight or prep anything tonight, even just knowing what it is you're going to have to cook or make or like put together, knowing that ahead of time is going to release a lot of that stress because you don't have the decision fatigue of trying to figure out what to make when you're in the midst of a busy day. So having that all ahead of time is going to help tremendously. Or if it's really crazy, just knowing that you're gonna be getting takeout. That's also a plan. If that is what works best for you, then you don't have to stress about it tomorrow. If takeout is what works, then that is what you're going to do tomorrow and it's planned. You don't have to worry about deciding tomorrow. So that is something that you can also do. And the last thing I want you to think about is to ask yourself, how do I want to feel when I end the day tomorrow? Because if you're going to be planning for a busy day and you know all this stuff is going on, you want to ask yourself, do I want to feel productive and I want to kind of cram in as much as I can and feel really energized because that's what's going to make me feel good is getting all this stuff done? Is it just getting through all of the tasks and knowing that you feel rested? Is it being able to get all these things done and go into your evening feeling relaxed, feeling joyful? What is it that you want to be feeling when the day ends? What's going to feel good? You're not going to feel guilty about the things you didn't get to because we already addressed that. You don't have to prioritize everything. Some days you just need to get through. And that's okay. So, I want you to really think about, like, how you want to feel at the end of the day, and even if the day is busy, we can choose where we focus our attention and what we prioritize and how we feel at the end of the day. Just because it's a busy day, it doesn't mean that we need to feel stressed or we need to feel chaotic or overwhelmed. We can still feel organized and relaxed about going into our day even when it's really busy. And sometimes I think we forget that we have the permission to do that. We just feel like, "Oh, it's busy and now I'm just frazzled." But we still get to choose where we put our time and focus and attention. So, if you are prepping for a busy day ahead, we're going to quickly recap that so that you can get to planning so that you can feel super organized. So, number one, you want to plan for your morning routine. What time do you need to get up? What are you going to be doing for your morning routine? And what time does that mean that you need to get to bed tonight? And if it takes you a while to get to sleep, what time do you need to start getting ready for bed? And then getting into bed. So it all applies. You have to think those things through. Number 2 is organize the flow of your day. Restack your day if needed, but you really want to understand how your day is going to flow. So, what do you need to be doing first? What needs to be second? What needs to be third? And literally just kind of create the flow of your day by simply stacking those time blocks for each thing that you need to do throughout the day, making sure that they aren't overlapping and that you have time for each of the things that need to be done and you know exactly what you need to do in the order you need to do it. The third thing you want to look at are your priorities. What do you need to prioritize that day? Do you need to plug in any tasks? Do you need to plug in movement? Any of your routines? Do you need to plug in time for rest? All of those things that you want to kind of think through. What are your priorities going to be? And what do you need to kind of let go of during this busy day? Even if you normally do it every single day, is there anything that you need to say it's okay to set that aside because it's not a priority during this super busy day? And I'm going to prioritize other things. So you want to think that through so that you feel really good about your plan. The fourth thing that you want to look at is your plan for your meals. Anything that you can do to prep but you want to have a plan on you knowing exactly what to do for breakfast, lunch, dinner, any snacks that are necessary. Do you need to plan anything ahead of time or put anything in the crock pot, pull anything out of the freezer? All those things, you need to think that through on what is your plan for meals. Number 5, the last thing is you want to think through how you want to feel when you end the day tomorrow. So, understand what feeling you want to have at the end of the day so that you can go into your day focused on that intention and hopefully get to the end of the day feeling really good about how you spent your day and understanding that that is the feeling that you wanted to have. So, thinking all those things through ahead of time can really help us to create a day that works really well for us, that we don't feel guilty, we don't feel stressed. We might be busy, but that doesn't mean we need to feel disorganized or overwhelmed. We can still feel organized and we can still have a good day even when it feels very full. So, hopefully, by being able to look at this and plan ahead for tomorrow, you're going to rest better tonight because you know that you can wake up with a solid plan and you know exactly what needs to be done in what order, and your day is going to flow super smoothly. So, good luck, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.